Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining once again. So, rapper 50 Cent has said, and whether or not you think this guy is still relevant or not is null and void. The man was real popular, okay? Have said that the zero bail policy in Los Angeles is going to cause some major problems. And he basically summarized it by saying that LA will never recover after this, okay? So let's get right into this article because I have a lot to say about this. Here we have a celebrity, the way I see it, seeing the real issues, okay, rather than these nutbag liberals. It says rapper 50 Cent, real name Curtis Jackson, believes the city of Los Angeles will never recover after it implemented a zero bail policy. In an Instagram post, the rapper shared a segment from Fox 11 Los Angeles explaining that the city will be implementing a zero bail policy for misdemeanors and other nonviolent felonies. The policy originally hit during the coronavirus pandemic to avoid overcrowding in prisons. But listen to this. The rapper addressed Los Angeles' crime crisis last week in response to the recent reinstatement of the zero bail policy. LA is finished. Watch how bad it gets out there, he wrote. Very interesting, right? Yolo County District Attorney Jeff Reisen told Fox News, zero bail has had a tremendous impact on overall public safety. I mean, we have more people being shot at, stabbed, assaulted, robbed, beaten. These are real victims, and the numbers are staggering under zero bail, this man said. Now, let me say something here. In my previous video that I made earlier about the gun violence situation in the city of Cleveland where the 9 people were shot and injured, I made the statement that, quoting the words of economist and social theorist Thomas Sowell, that correlation does not necessarily mean causation, okay? In that situation, it was the same thing. And in this situation can be applied. They could say, okay, look, they had this zero bail policy, and now all of a sudden you have an uptick in violence, people being assaulted, people being robbed. But correlation does not necessarily mean causation, and it would be the same thing here. However, what we're about to find out is that this particular article states factual data that supports the reality of more people being shot at and stabbed and assaulted because of this zero bail policy. Let's read what it says. Fox News added that a recent study found that, quote, suspects released without bail reoffended 70% more often than those who posted bail, and were rearrested on 163% more charges. That's factual data to support the idea that this zero bail policy is causing an uprising in crime. Liberals always do this, man. But they'll ignore this, okay? Ending cash bail has been a cause celebre for leftists who have argued the policy ensures low-income suspects spend time in prison. So they're more concerned about these people being low income, right? Rather than punishing them for their crimes. They don't have the money to pay for bail, so we're going to just do zero bail. Think about how crazy that is. Think about the logic in that. Basically, number one, you justifying crime among low income people. That the reason why you committing, because liberals think this way, the reason why they're committing these crimes is because they're in a low income, poverty, impoverished area. That is a bunch of BS. Man, come on. I'm going to get into my commentary there, but that is a bunch of BS. People commit these crimes because they can. If that was the case, then if being in a low income area was the case then of people committing crimes, then that would mean everyone that's in a low income area would commit crimes. That would mean I would have committed those kind of crimes because I was born in a low income area. That would mean everyone would commit those kind of crimes because they was born in a low income area. You look at the sitcom Good Times. Even though Good Times was not based on a true story, but it was based on a factual zeitgeist, if you will, that was going on during the 70s in low income area places. They were poor. They had very little. They struggled day to day. But guess what? Their parents taught morals and values to the children. And the children didn't get involved in crime. And if they did, mom and dad's like, get the HEL out of my house in so many ways. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I mean. Because just because you're struggling and just because you're having a hard time doesn't mean you have to commit crimes. But this is how liberals think about people who commit these crimes that may be in low income areas. That's a crutch and is an excuse to basically justify wrongdoing. But the studies have shown that when these people are let out due to this kind of policy, they recommit more crimes. Let's go on. In 2021, 50 Cent moved from New York to Houston months after he railed against President Biden's tax plan. Of course, I love New York, but I live in Houston now, and I'll explain later, he wrote while sharing a photo of himself outside the Houston Astrodome. He also included 2 screenshots about a true crime television series called Confessions of a Crime Queen that he produced. Green light gang, boom, his tweet concluded. I don't know what that means, but I don't know what that means. I'm not good at street rhetoric, but though Jackson did not specify what drove him away from New York, the move came months after he lit the internet on fire by telling his significant following to vote for Trump in response to Biden's wild tax plan. What the F? The vote for Trump, the rapper, whose real name is Curtis James Jackson III, posted on Instagram, I'm out of effing New York. The Knicks never win anyway. I don't care Trump doesn't like black people, he added. 62% are you out of your effing mind? After some controversy in the media, 50 Cent later recanted and told Extra that he turned down a chance to attend the 2017 inauguration to highlight his anti-Trump bona fides. I turned down $1 million to go to the inauguration in 2017. Why would I just switch gears now, the rapper said. And that's the end of that article right there. Yeah, but there's factual data that supports the reality that zero policy bail does not work. But liberals continuously push this type of law, and they see the rise in crime, and yet they persist anyway. This gives me the conclusion, okay, and I hold to this conclusion, that their intentions is not pure. You literally see an uprising in these things. You literally see, and then you also have studies that support the idea that zero policy emboldens or encourages these people that you let out with no bail to commit more crimes. And yet liberal politicians continuously persist in pushing this kind of nonsense. And I will conclude that the objective is to cause moral chaos. What other possible reason would it be? Just like banging my head against a brick wall, you know, and not getting any results. The only result that I'm going to get banging my head against a brick wall is a bruised head. That's it. 9 times out of the 10, that brick wall is not going to cave in unless I'm the Incredible Hulk or Superman. All right? And the same principle here. They continuously push this kind of stuff, continuously get negative effects, but yet they continuously push it. And it's like Thomas Sowell said, these elites in academia, he calls them, pushes these kind of policies that are destructive to the community at large. But yet they never suffer any consequences for it. See, these liberals and politicians in particular, whether it could be Republicans as well, because they're guilty of some crazy things too, but I'm dealing with the liberals here because the liberal politicians are the ones pushing this kind of craziness. You're talking about the Republicans being erratic and extreme. I don't think so, okay? Because I don't see nobody getting hurt with Republican policies. The only people getting hurt with Republican policies, these butt-hurt LGBT, QPBB, and all the rest of these people butthurt over somebody saying, no, you can't kill, you can't mutilate kids' bodies and all this. They're the only ones getting offended at laws that the Republicans put in place. The real laws that's actually hurting people are the laws that these liberals are putting in place and causing all kinds of chaos in the cities all over the country. And what this is doing, in my opinion, is it is being done on purpose, rather. Okay, I believe that they're doing this on purpose to cause as much moral chaos as they possibly can. And to go back to what Thomas Sowell said, these people continuously do this type of stuff and push these kind of laws and rules. And when they see the negative results, they never suffer any consequences. And may I add to that, it's easier for someone in a position of authority to push legislation or rhetoric or policies or ordinances upon the people and see the negative results and not suffer consequences for it. It's easy to do that when you're not going to suffer any consequences or backlash for it. Because after all, if you can continuously get away with doing crazy stuff, you're going to more than likely continuously get away with doing crazy stuff. All these liberals that are pushing this kind of stuff, these people have money. They get money, large donations from people like George Soros and others that contribute large sums of money to their campaigns, their organizations, or whatever else they're pushing. And they get large sums of money. These people are wicked and sick and disgusting. And they do not love the American people. And it ticks me off when I hear liberals say things like, we want to do this for the American people. What American that I know of that wants this kind of stuff, zero policy? Who wants that? Now, the criminal, of course, wants it. The criminal wants it. The person that's committing the crimes wants it, obviously. But they're null and void. I don't want to hear nothing they have to say because you broke the law and now you got to suffer the consequences. Shut your big fat mouth. You ain't got nothing to say. You consciously broke the law. You suffer the consequences. Be a man. Be a woman. Take responsibility for what you did and do the time. That's what you do, Home Slice. Quit all this crying. The problem is when you put these kind of things in place and you push this kind of stuff, stop screaming and hollering that the American people want it. No, they don't. Most American people do not want that. You may have a small group here, a small group there, but for the most part, they do not want this kind of nonsense. Because guess who gets hurt? Guess who gets hurt? The common people. And liberals love to poot and snot and fart towards blacks, you know, especially the progressive Democrats. Oh, we love to tell, you know, we on your side, black people. So they push these legislation and these laws that have a negative effect. And guess who gets hurt the most? Black people. The inner city, low income black people. The very people that they claim that they care about are the ones suffering the most. I know it to be true because these kind of people talk to me all the time on my job. They're usually older people. But they talk to me all the time on my job about high crime and stuff that they don't want and stuff that they do want. And it's never what these liberals, politicians, and progressive Democrats are pushing. But they say that kind of stuff to try to pull people in. Or maybe everybody do want this. Let me go ahead and vote for this politician because everybody wants it. No, they don't. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Don't embrace it. It's a trick. Once again, I'll end the video on this note. The question isn't whether or not, and I'm reiterating what I said in the last video. The question isn't whether or not Republicans don't use rhetoric or take advantage of situations that happen, a crisis situation happen to push their policies. They do. They do. They get large donations as well. They do. They do. The question is, which policies are the best policies for the American people? That's the question. Now, you do the sizing up. But in my opinion, most of the Republican policies are the best policies for the American people. Now, if you believe in poor people getting free, don't have to pay bail, okay. If you believe in that, that's your opinion. But I'll tell you one thing. When I leave my job, when I'm on my job, I don't pack because I can't. I don't have the authority to. And you know what I'm talking about. But when I go home, I go in the back change room. It's an exchange room, but I go in the back. I take my uniform off. I put my civilian clothes on, and right here. So when I leave out of that place, if it's probable cause, it's going to be a problem. So if you believe in that kind of nonsense, that's your opinion. I respect your opinion, but I totally disagree with it because it's not based on factual data the way I see it. And if that kind of stuff come my way, to God, I hope it doesn't, and I have probable cause to use force, I will use it. And I'm not going to feel sad. And I'm not going to be like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. No. In hell, they will lift up their eyes. That's what's going to happen. It is what it is. That's my view on it. It's a strong view, but I mean business. I don't advocate violence. As a man of God, I don't advocate it. But I do believe in self-defense, and so does God. Read your word. Both Old and New Testament talks about that. And if you don't believe it, you can go to my Christian channel. It's called Bible Perspective. And I do a full video on that, explaining all the variables of that. Bible Perspective. Go to that one. You can find it for yourself. But that's where I stand on that. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you once again.